Students, this question was asked in the year 1991. Three questions were asked in 1991 from the chapter oscillations, and this is the second question. We have already solved one question. A body is executing simple harmonic motion when the displacements from the mean position are 4 cm and 5 cm. Corresponding velocities of the body is 10 cm per second and 8 cm per second. The time period of the body is. Students, when a body is executing simple harmonic motion, then its displacement may be written as like this: x is equal to, suppose the body is oscillating in the x direction, then we may write x is equal to a sin omega t, where a is the amplitude, omega is its angular frequency, what is given by twice pi by t, where t is the time period of the oscillations. You know this, student? Then what is velocity? Velocity of the particle will be a. This will be the time derivative of the displacement vector, that is dx by dt, and this will be d by dt of a sin omega t. Okay, student, that will be a. What is the d by dt of sin omega t? That is d by d theta. Sin theta is equal to cos theta, you know. And here omega t is there, so this will be a omega cos omega t. Okay, student, we can write this as a omega. What is cos omega t? That can be written as 1 minus sin square omega t. And what is sin omega t, students? You see here a sin omega t is x, so sin omega t can be written as x by a. We can write here x by s square, that is a omega into root over 1 minus x by s whole square, or we may write, student, root over 1 minus x square by s square. This can also be written as s square minus x square by s square. And if we take this, there is a omega, of course, here, student, it is multiplied with a omega. Okay, multiplied with a omega. Here we had left this, there is a omega here. So this is a omega, and if this a goes outside the square root, this becomes 1 by a, and this is root over s square minus x square, and this 1 by a will cancel out, and v will be equal to omega root over s square minus x square. What is this? This is the velocity of the particle. Okay, student, from this formula we will solve the problem. Let us write it here and clear the blackboard. V is equal to omega root over s square minus x square. Students, two situations are given. In one situation, the displacement of the body from its mean position is how much? 4 cm, and another is 5 cm. And the corresponding velocities are 10 cm per second and 8 cm per second. Let us write this. Then V1 is equal to omega into root s square minus x1 square, and V2 can be written as omega into root over s square minus x2 square. Let us write the two situations so that we will get two equations, students, and on solving these two equations we can find out the time period. What is V1? At the first situation, the velocity is 10 cm per second. Let us write it as 10. 10 is equal to omega into root over s square minus what is x1 square? It is 4 square. And here what is V2? V2 is 8 cm per second, is equal to omega into root over s square minus how much, student? What is x2? x2 is 5 cm. Let us write it here. In the second case, the displacement is 5 cm. In the first case, the displacement is 4 cm. In the first case, the velocity is 10 cm per second. In the second case, the velocity is 8 cm per second. Then we can write this as 10 by omega is equal to root over s square minus 16, and this can be written as 8 by omega is equal to root over s square minus 25. Okay, student, is it clear? Then we may take the square of these equations and write 100 by omega square is equal to s square minus 16. Let us write that as equation 1, and here we may square this equation and get 64 by omega square is equal to s square minus 25. Okay, student, then let us write this as equation 2, and let us do equation 1 minus equation 2. Let us deduct equation 2 from equation 1. Then what will be that? That will be 100 by omega square minus 64 by omega square will be equal to a square minus 16 minus a square minus 25. Okay, student? That will be equal to, that implies 100 minus 64, that is 36 by omega square will be equal to how much? The square minus 16, this will be minus and this will be plus, so this square will cancel out and 25 minus 16 equal to 9. If this 9 cancels out 36, this becomes 4, or 4 by omega square is equal to 1, implied omega square is equal to 4, or omega is equal to 2, student. Okay? Omega, or the angular velocity of the body is 2. Okay? And what is the relationship between omega, the angular velocity, and the time period, student? You know that is a very famous relation. Omega is equal to twice pi by t, we know. So, student, this 2 is equal to twice pi by t, implies 2t is equal to 2 pi, or t is equal to, student, pi second. So, where is the option? Option C gives pi second. So, option C is correct, students, for this question.